This time I'll call the May 5th, 2022 meeting to order for the Dickson County Commission. Would you please stand and join in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, don't believe we have anything to add to the agenda.
We do have one item,
We do.
Hayes Township
Oh,
maintenance request.
okay. You say Hayes Township.
Yeah, a request to declare a section of Ochre Road as minimum maintenance.
Okay. So thank you for bringing that up. We do have then the one addition to amend the agenda that it would include in the Hayes Township on the Okra Road area, that it would be minimum maintenance. And I would move that we approve the agenda as amended.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and the second. Any other discussion or question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The consent agenda includes the minutes of the April 21st meeting, also expenditures of $884,355.78, hand checks of $1,096.04, utilities of $13,915.28, security payment $4,000, abatements of $6,735.68.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
We have the motion and the second for approval of the consent agenda. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Commission comments, Ron.
I enjoyed this last week here, going to the township meeting Monday night. Good turnout. Certificates were passed out to those that served a certain amount of years, and it was a good deal. Also enjoyed the 46th annual Commissioners Conference in Salina last week also. So pretty busy time. That's all.
Okay, Craig.
Yeah, last Tuesday I attended a KAC meeting over in Salina. A couple of highlights would be the dark store theory. I think, and I had my notes someplace, lost them. The hearing is supposed to be May 9th at 9 o'clock. Also, one of the deals that we see on the KAC board is polarization of the counties. I guess our two lobbyists see that coming because one of them, I'm not going to mention the county, but they felt like that the KAC shouldn't have been neutral, should have been advocating for it. The thing is, you've got the urban counties and rural counties that do no longer have the same concerns, I guess. I think it's going to be, it may not happen for a few years, but it's going to be a issue for the KAC to advocate for the counties when one county wants one thing and the other county wants the other. I appreciate the Salina did an excellent job, I thought, posting the KCCA. I'd like to think that we'd be able to put it on, but I'm not sure we'd have the hotel or the space to do it. That's all I have, Lynn.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get it. I feel like,
So
thank you.
Central Kansas Mental Health, we're going to be having kind of some special meetings on just an advisory board on a building project we're getting consideration to. And also what Craig had mentioned, and Ron, the conference in Salina, I thought it was excellent and had a chance to visit with a lot of other county commissioners. But they also gave us some very helpful information. I served on the board and that issue had come up before too, where sometimes there's some issue that one of the members or some of member counties would say, let's push this through, but for a statewide agenda, what was a benefit for one was kind of a disadvantage for another. And so sometimes there's certain stances they'll stay neutral on. One of the things I think is helpful on that KC board you serve on is they have a very good balance of rural and also the larger cities, urban and in between. I think even though the population isn't in the western 2/3 of Kansas, as far as the economic importance of those counties. I think Casey does a good job of balancing and representing. Also, the township meeting was very well attended, I thought, and very helpful, and appreciate Brad getting things organized on that. Craig, you would know this, and I don't how many years was it, Lyle?
41.
Yeah, so one of the township people had 41 years experience or years of service that we recognized, and many of them that were in the 20s, 30 years, and so on. So we appreciate their volunteerism and help with the township. Also, that same evening as the township meeting, there at the high school, there was a CEO meeting of the high school students that have CEO projects, and they've been sponsored and worked with businesses in town. The youth are just amazing, and they set up their tabletops and told about their projects and what they were doing, but also it's, encouraging private entrepreneurs or people that maybe want to start with small businesses, and great experience for those students. And so I thought it was very well done, and was glad I could attend that. That's all I have. So we'll move on. Before we have public comments, we do have a proclamation today, and that's to declare May as Mental Health Awareness Month. And I guess we'll turn the floor over and let you introduce yourselves and read the proclamation, and appreciate you being here.
Yes, thank you. I'm Taylor Hawes. I am a community-based services coordinator for Central Kansas Mental Health Center. I oversee Dickinson County. So thank you for having us this morning. Whereas the mental health of every citizen is essential to the emotional and economic prosperity of our families, communities, and businesses in Dickinson County. And whereas mental health is a key component of every individual's overall physical health and emotional well-being. And whereas mental illness affects people of all ages, races, ethnicities, and income levels in the Dickinson County. And whereas suicide is the second leading cause of death for Kansas aged 10 to 34. And whereas mental health conditions are not only common, they are treatable, and early and effective intervention can save lives. And whereas we recognize the impact of the pandemic on our collective mental health, with 1 in 3 adults reporting depression or anxiety. And whereas untreated mental illness leads to higher rates of emergency department visits, hospitalizations, school dropouts, unemployment, and suicides. And whereas we strive to create communities in the Commonwealth that support mental wellness by increasing access to treatment, educating ourselves and our communities about mental wellness and mental illness, and supporting citizens as they seek to improve their mental health. And whereas greater public awareness about mental health can positively transform attitudes about and towards people with mental illness, making it easier for our citizens to seek help for a mental health issue.
Okay. Thank you very much. You can stay at the podium if you like. But is there a motion for approval of this proclamation?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and second to accept this proclamation and proclaim the 5th day of May 2022 as Mental Health Awareness Month. All citizens and government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses, and schools in Dickinson County to recommit to increasing the awareness and understanding of mental health, and recognize the necessity of accessible and appropriate mental health services for all Dickinson County citizens. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And do you want to tell us just a little bit of what some of your services are here in Dickinson County? And
Yes, of course. In the past year, we have made many changes to the mental health center as we're transforming to a CCBHC. One of the biggest changes that is really supportive to the citizens is we provide what we call same-day access, meaning that we have open hours in our Dickinson County office here in Abilene from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday for individuals to come and have an intake evaluation done, get connected with supports, and schedule future mental health services through us that they feel are necessary. Additionally, we have partnerships with the schools all throughout Dickinson County where we provide youth services of case management, therapy, and psychosocial group within those schools and those partnerships working together for the kids, the families, the teachers, the administration.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments from the commission?
What age group does mental health involve?
Really all for our youth and for youth case management, we serve ages 3 and up. It's really all age groups and the entire family systems, whether they're that nuclear family of mom, dad, and child, foster families, individuals living independently, all ages.
What's kind of the procedure, or I know you probably have some people that call you to set up appointments and schedule or referral, but there's also got probably situations where it's more crisis and immediate. So
Yes.
how do people reach you, and how does that filter to where you're able to help and assist?
We have a 24-hour crisis line with our crisis clinicians being available when you call our main office number. We also partner and work with the emergency rooms so that if it is a crisis situation and medical care is needed, the emergency departments also work with our clinicians and clinicians contracted through us to get those crisis supports that are needed. For the youth within our area, we also have Martin Youth Center that is located in Salina, but is available to the youth living in Dickinson County to stay there overnight with mental health staff available to monitor them for those crisis intervention services.
And when they had the open house on the Martin Center, for example, sometimes say a parent and child, and maybe they're middle school. I mean, they can be any age, but it's almost like they're at a standoff, and the police, it's almost like a cooling off time where there's some separation, but also good advice given and to try to settle things down and put a plan in place. And so it's not considered long term, and I maybe haven't described it accurately because that's more my layman terms on it, but anyway, it's a service that's utilized quite often.
And we also offer too, for some of them, respite care, which is, like you said, maybe not an emergency crisis situation, but they can schedule respite care so that families can have exactly that little bit of separation and space to cool off and get support from the individuals that they need to.
Okay. Well, thank you for the work you do and your service to Dickinson County. Oh, yes. I'd like to do photos.
Of course.
She gets one of those copies.
Where would you like me at?
Not sure what I did with the copies. Let's see.
I went around behind.
Okay, no problem.
I was going to go to the front, but
Oh, I'm gonna say settings.
I'll get it here so Craig can get in there. So Ron.
Geez, Ron, you gotta stand that.
Quite a photo out there.
I love it.
All right. Smile,
I'm gonna track you down, Craig.
everybody.
She can photo.
Now your turn.
Stand on my tiptoes.
I know, she's doing a video.
Oh, you gotta be on top.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you all so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ma'am, before you leave, would you give that statistic again on those kids to 34 that are
Yes,
Suicide.
Yes.
What is that
Um,
number?
in Kansas, ages 10 to 34, suicide is the second leading cause of death. And actually, that number is consistent throughout all of the United States for that age group for the most part, that suicide's the second leading cause of death. And overall, for all age groups, suicide is actually the 10th leading cause of death in the United States.
Serious stuff.
And, considering the fact that sometimes that goes, I don't know if it goes unreported, but sometimes there's other variables where, if they only knew, that might have been really the major piece of it, or very significant. So, well, there's help available if people feel they need help. You always want to encourage people to reach out. Okay, are there any comments? This would be time for public comment also on anything that is not on the agenda. This would be opportunity to comment. Don't believe we have any comments from the public, so we will go ahead and move on to our report of county officers. Brad?
Okay, we had a meeting last week with our HVAC provider on the project. And we've been having some issues getting things programmed correctly, and they were here and worked on that. And Sherry believes that we've got everything pretty well worked out. They did give us assurances that they'd have everything taken care of. So we feel a lot better about that after meeting with them. When we were over at Salina last week, I know Lynn had a conversation with county commissioners over there, and I had one the next day about Magnolia at 1400, the adjoining artery into Salina, and possibly paving that. It was kind of ironic because we talked about that week prior on Thursday. Friday morning, Martin came in, well, I guess it was Friday afternoon. He'd been over to his monthly luncheon in Salina with the other road and bridge people. And Darren Fishel, who is his counterpart in Saline County, had approached him and said, I'm putting a lot of money into that 3 miles of Magnolia Road in our county. Do you think there's any chance that your county commissioners would be interested in paving that? And I just started laughing. I said, that's just talked about it yesterday. So anyhow, we kind of engaged the conversation, and we'll see what conversations he has with his commissioners, and I'll have Martin continue to talk to him about it. But that might be a perfectly good opportunity to apply for some grant money jointly together, since there's a lot of money becoming available out there for projects like that, and see if we can be successful on that. So
Both counties have paved portions leading up to it.
yeah, they pave up to Kip Road, and they've got 3 miles, I think, over to the county line, and we pave obviously up to Eden Road.
And we're hauling it, or
We've got 4 miles over to the county line, so
about 7 miles in between.
yeah. That's something that's been talked about many times over the years, but we have never had a county commission on the other side of the county willing to even look at the option. So sounds like it might be something we might be able to work out. You heard my update on the renovation earlier. We're about 99% done, working out some kinks. We haven't scheduled the open house, but I'm hoping to do that hopefully today or tomorrow. And probably do it the first week of June on a Saturday. Do it throughout the day. You got the staffing reports from Diane. That looks like a phone book on the bottom. We've had a number of new hires, primarily in the sheriff's department, and the one that Lisa hired in the appraiser's office. We've had several leave, and we've had some promotions, so it seems to be consistent every month with changes. And in the budget report that you already went over with Janelle, so I doubt if you got any other questions on that one. But everything looks good. The sales tax is holding steady. So we did with the hailstorm we had last week. We did have several vehicles down at the county yard that were damaged, including 2 that have been placed on purple wave. Sheriff's vehicles have been retired. I went down and looked at them. They do have pretty substantial damage, so we're going to pull them from auction. We'll end up either getting them fixed, or we'll relist them with the damages, so that there were already numerous bidders on both of them, and they were bidding on them as not being damaged. So the only fair thing to do was pull them from the auction, so. We do have at 11:30, one reason I'm hurrying is we're doing a scheduled power shutdown to the courthouse, so at 11:30, things are gonna go dark for a few seconds until the generators kick on. So with that, any questions or that's it?
Okay. Doug?
Well, I visited with most of the departments at the courthouse, and they are very pleased with settling in. And you folks did an excellent job in the preparation and the design and so forth with the courthouse. They seem very pleased with it. And we held our first Abilene Municipal Court here on Monday and went well. We figure out the little adjustments that are a little bit different, but it worked very well. So we thank you for the use of the facility, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We'll go to notices and communications. We have here from the Dixon County Conservation District. Also, North Central Kansas, Flint Hills Area Aging sent us some information and a breakdown of some of their services. And then also it includes a billing of $13,092.59. So I'll pass that along to be considered appropriately. We also have the county news that we get that publication and something from the pipeline. Let's see, of course it's Cinco de Mayo, but also is the National Day of Prayer. Is that correct, Doug? Is there, would you mention something briefly of the event that you have? It's open to the public.
Yeah, it is open to the public, and well, there's a number of things coming up that we're doing at our church. You want me to go into some of that, or to?
Well, you might mention.
National Day of Prayer.
I'd just mention locally if anyone wants to participate or go to that event there at the church.
Yeah, I can't tell you the hours off the top of my head.
This evening, though.
Yeah, it's this evening, and I want to say it's at 6, but I'm not positive of that. It may be later into the evening, and it's a National Day of Prayer, and so all are welcome and invited.
Okay. We'll go ahead and move on. We do not have any. I did have one other letter that we received. This came in on an email, and they're questioning someone had ended up with some expenses on their services provided at the health department, and their insurance didn't pay for it. And so anyway, they've had some issues with how things were handled. So I'll pass this on to you, Brad, and then we can do some follow-up and see if there's anything we need to correct or look into or improve, or so we appreciate getting notification of the concern that this family had. We did not have anything else, notices and communications, unless either of the commissioners did.
Well, one thing you might mention is be at the end, Andrea is having a reception of the county attorney at Old Abilene Town, or at the Alamo Saloon, from 3 to 7 this Saturday. I don't know if we need to put that on the deal of, I'll be going down for it. So,
Well,
I don't know when her
be out of town
or resignation or not yet, but. So. And then also, which we can discuss later, is I think we need to formally adopt a policy for the fund balance and tax reserve policy. Make that official, but we don't have to do that now, but I'd like to keep it on the agenda that, we'll look at that. Maybe don't have to do it next month or
Be
next.
good to have it in writing.
Yes.
Okay. Going ahead and moving on, we need to have a public hearing to hear comments on the tax abatement for Agri Trails Co-op.
Oh, here's.
Yes, this is Agri-Trails Co-op, and Hope has applied for a tax abatement for economic development purposes. Their new fertilizer warehouse just west of town. We talked to you about that before. Chuck had been in originally when they applied and talked to you, and we held off when they started construction. They're completed now. And so it's the appropriate time for them to apply for that so they can get the full 10 years of that use of that abatement. So The only thing we are waiting on to submit that to the state is for the financial study to come back from Wichita State, which is required. And Courtney's supposed to be getting that at EDC. And so once you've approved it, we get that information from Wichita State and we'll submit it to the state.
But do we need to set that date or just approve that we?
No, actually, you would just do a public hearing now
Okay,
and take any public comments that there might be. And then if you so choose, you just pass a resolution to approve it.
you have a copy of the resolution?
Yeah, looking for the number.
Okay,
Where's that?
You don't have the number yet, Lynn.
No, I do. It's at the top.
Oh, we got it. Did you put it there? Okay. Oh, I saw it. Okay.
okay. So at this time, we'll open the public hearing. This is for the application for a tax abatement of Agri Trails Co-op. And as Brad mentioned, it's for the fertilizer warehouse. The resolution to exempt them from the ad valorem taxation of the property owned 501 North Main Street, Hope, Kansas. Are there any comments in addition to just the paperwork that we will be submitting?
The actual property, I believe, that is going to be abated is on 700 Avenue.
Okay,
Get the address, but it's,
that is under section 1. It has the purchase and construction of a new building. And it's located 1652 700 Avenue, Hope, Kansas.
You might mention too, that's the only ones that have school district.
Well, you can mention it.
Okay, well, the school district isn't, the one, Hope it isn't in city limits of Hope, so they don't have to sign off.
should have taken that out.
Okay, so
Okay.
outside the city limits, am I correct, Brad?
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
The school district's been notified. I actually heard back from Ron Metler, the school superintendent, that said it was pretty straightforward. They didn't have a problem with it, so.
Okay. Any other comments in regards to this resolution 050522? At this time, I'll close the public hearing. Our next step then is we need to go ahead and officially approve the resolution 050522 to exempt the property of Agri Trails Co-op. Their office location is 501 North Main Street, but this is for the 1652 700 Avenue fertilizer processing facility.
So move.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and the second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And before we leave, we can sign this. The other item we have, and Brad, if you'll go ahead and give the summation report on it, for Hayes Township has a road, portion of Okra Road to change to minimum maintenance.
Yeah, I received an email from Wally Wolf Township requesting that you consider declaring Okra Road from K18 north to 3100 as minimum maintenance. So the process on that would be that you would publish a notice of hearing. I've set the hearing for the 2nd of June at 11 a.m. At that point, you would hear any comments and then make a determination whether it's something you want to do or not. I would just note that with the residents there of Lexos, I think, I had listed it as 100 feet north of the right of way. So they would still have to maintain that very short little piece of road that goes up to Lexos driveway. So, and that Lexos that live there, right? Yeah.
The road's been closed for a couple of years.
Yeah. But they still have to get in and out, so it would essentially declare minimum maintenance from 100 feet north all the way to 3100 Avenue.
Okay. Is there a motion to go ahead and make notice of the hearing? We've got the motion.
I'll second
And
it.
we've got the second. And you had said June 2nd would be the hearing date, Brad?
Yes.
Okay. Procedurally, everybody would get notified, like you said, that's within the vicinity of this, along with publication. Any other question or comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We do not have any other business to consider, so
I move we adjourn.
And I'll second it.
we have the motion and second to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We're adjourned.
Perfect timing.
Ooh.